You know this series is at the end. When you see Madao in his badass look, you already know that we're coming to an end. Chapter 596 is the beginning of a wishful thinking of going back to the comedy chapter, only to segue to the beginning of the final arc. Though undergoing preparation, we have returning characters such as Kyubi, Tama, Tsukuyo, and many more. However, the MVP here is Madao, the guy who was a homeless for a good portion of the series, now developing to the epic position, and is already greater than any other war arcs that I could name. This chapter was such a great startup for this final chapter, even if it is the very beginning, and it is probably just a pre-war arc, because it just started off with every Yamato just started invading Earth and destroyed the terminal one strike. But I like that whole beginning. Started off with the comedy. It's always something that Gintama has been doing for such a long time. Always starts off with a comedy, and then when it slowly segues to the serious mode, you know everything gets really grounded. And that's why only this series can make it work and can make it really mixture into a perfect gem. It just seems like Soichi knows how to time it well and know how to make you feel very glued to the arc or the story behind this arc that's going to unfold. That's why every time they do the series arc, it always feels like you already get the idea that this is the one that is going to be massive, is going to be epic, and is going to be very important. So with this arc, it all starts off with the tension of the world coming to an end, because the way how everybody reacted to see the terminal, the way how everything is finally seems like it coming to a full circle. Even with the Madao part, it starts off with a comedy. I was hoping it was going to be a comedy chapter. Unfortunately, it is in fact the final arc, or more like at least a prelogue to that final arc, because we all started off seeing the reactions of the idea that the war is coming to the Earth, the idea that everybody is going into a war. But what I really like is the fact this war has nothing to do with the samurais, has nothing to do with the humans. Instead, Yamato is the one that creating a war, all because of what happened behind the scene. Even though it was a massive collateral damage with Tendo Sho and Yamato done by Usuro, the idea is that they go into a war to get everything back and destroy terminal and destroy everything that Tendo Sho has been doing for the past year. So here, the humans don't have no idea what's going on, but the only thing they know is that terror has brought to them, and everybody has to get forced into the war. Especially with that one scene where the old guy was trying to get dragged into the war, but he don't want to do that, and Yamato is abusing that power. The fact that they have ruled the place for so long time, they might as well could take advantage of every human just like before, and now it's happening again. In the way that we compare the contrast of the first time they invaded the Earth, it feels like everything has restarted, only this time they are going to a war they have no part of. And that's what I really like about this war arc already. This is the war that they are being dragged into in mess that is not even their fault. It's not even their reason or cause. Now the reason has to be they had to take it back. But the chapter ended with that striking moment with a great tension and a great way to segue to that moment of why they want to take it back. It all starts with Madao, with the fact that it comes with a comedy with the whole coin, him trying to reach for money, and he actually reached the money, and you could tell the series is already coming to an end. And it's funny because it started off with like a comedy. It starts with a lot of sorts of comedy with him being such an evil guy, him being proclaimed to be the final villain. I thought that was pretty funny for at least to say. And then we go to the series part where we get to address everything that has happened from the series, and it feels like this really has been made from the ground up, and this is something that Soichi truly has planned this really well, despite the fact it has been over 500 chapters. It seems like he always have this idea that this is how the plot will go down. This is the idea how every single arc means a lot to that point that we are getting this war that has no attention to for the humans to get part of, except now they really got to fight back because everybody is trying to destroy this world that they have living in for years and years. Madao is just an MVP. We get to see the other characters, and the other characters were nice because the fact that we get to understand that these characters are part of this thing, these characters are going to be part of this whole entire war arc, that we're going to see a lot of development and the conclusion, the closure. And I can see more characters coming along the line. I can see that we're going to see a lot of characters. Remind me of the Four Devils arc, where we see so many characters from the past arcs, and it feels great to see them again all in one arc. So I could see this arc to be like that. And that's the one powerful thing about this series. It's the characters. It's always been phenomenal. And because with great characters, this war arc can be really great and can really give us like all the care in the world for these characters, hopefully not to die, hopefully they don't lose anything for themselves. Going back to Madao, he starts off with comedy because he's always a homeless guy. He has been a homeless guy for the major part of the series, and now we finally see him reaching up the money, but he's seeing everything go in turmoil. The world is coming to an end. He's seeing everything that has been going downhill, and then what I really like from him, and I really admire how Soichi demonstrated his characteristic, is the way how he shows him being a guy that always reaching for money, but now he's reaching for money not for himself, but for everybody's sake. Starting with Yorozuya, where he wants to gather so much money to ask for one job. The one job that he has been saving so much money. He's not helping himself. He's not really doing it for Gintoki, but he's doing it for everybody. Because there is one job they all want to do, and that is take back the world to the samurai. The way how they segue him to transform into the guy who has to go back to the days of the samurai, to the days where he was so serious, the day where he was so motivated, and now this is all the reason for him to get back on his legs and actually become a samurai that really wants his earth and really wants to take down everybody who wants to destroy his world. The way how they made a perfect use for the return of Madao, the days of the beginning of the series, the chief of Bureau of Immigration, Hasegawa, Taizo, those days, when I saw that, I almost wanted to burst in tears because Soichi timed this so perfectly. He made a perfect use of that return. He made a great use of a parallel. It just seems like everything feels so perfectly timed. Everything feels like it's really coming to an end. And when everybody is starting to become serious, everybody finally changing their character, everybody who's feel like they have been this kind of way because what their life has taken to, only for to see something else take a turn for the worse. It's time to finally go back where you were once a great guy. And Madao finally goes back to the chief of Bureau of Immigration, uniform and everything. It was just great. When I saw that visual, I was moved. When I saw the dialogue, I was heavily motivated to see these guys to win back Earth and to finish the whole war once and for all, even though it's sad because I really don't want the series to end, but it has to end. Madao was just awesome. I really like how they transform him into comedy, into serious in this one chapter. So I'm going to say this chapter is great. This arc is already shaping up to be better than the other series that I know that has this war arc. I can really trust Soichi to handle the war arc. I can really see this war arc could be one of the best, if not the best. I can see people will change their mind about war arc and the shonen series equal not so bad at all. It's just a lot of people likes to remember those other days, and I understand that, but you can't really give every same judgment to every other series. Every other series has their own writer. Every writer has their own way to portray the war, and I can see this war arc can be phenomenal. They already have a great characterization of a guy who's such a comedy, such a goof, is such a sad case of a person, but now look how he has transformed, and it all boils up from the last arc. It only makes this character such a great moment to see, and you already know this arc is already at the end when he is that damn serious, and I really loved it. So what's your thoughts about this chapter? Share your thoughts in the comment below. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel, and my world is yours to stay. Until next time, take care.